Hello, this video is being made for environmental science class. It's being directed towards virtual learning students, but it's also applicable to even students that I have in class. So I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about the terrarium project. This week in class, we are going to be making terrariums. And I would like by Friday for everyone to have their very own terrarium actually already made. So let's talk about the things that you're going to need in order to do this project. First of all, make sure that you go back to the virtual learning activity that we had from yesterday and you watch at least half of those videos. I would really like for you to watch all 6. Go to Serpa's Design to his channel and look at those. He has a million different videos, things that are just fantastic, and they have good ideas. So if you are doing this virtually, you're going to need to make your terrarium in different stages. The first stage is going to be the substrate, okay? And let me see here. I have a terrarium here just to kind of show you, and this is not a very good example. It's from last year. But the substrate is going to be this rock layer down at the bottom, or not the substrate, the false bottom is going to be down here at the bottom. It's a rock layer, and that's going to be the water reservoir. And every good terrarium is going to have that, okay? And then I don't know if you can see, but there is some fabric in here. This is landscape fabric, and everyone, when they make their terrariums this year, they're going to be cutting out in this shape right here, or whatever shape your jar is, they're going to cut out some landscape fabric. And the reason why we put that in there is because we don't want the soil up here at the top to fall down into the water layer where the rocks are. Because what it'll do, if the soil is sitting in water all the time, it becomes rancid, okay, and it actually becomes a bad situation where we get fermentation and we get mold and we get all kinds of bad things happening. So we always keep this fabric right here above the rocks. So we have a water rock layer, fabric, and then above that we have substrate. And the substrate is going to be forest soil that we're going to collect out in the forest. So if you are a virtual learner, you want to make sure that you can get out into a forest. You want to collect your soil off the beaten path. You want that soil to contain more than just dirt. It needs to contain little tiny pieces of stick and leaves and maybe some roots, little fine fiber hair looking root things. You want all of that stuff in your soil. And it's going to actually even have some other things in there. You might see some little teeny tiny white bugs. Those are called springtails. And those are great. You want those in the soil. You want as many as you can get because they're actually going to help keep your terrarium clean and healthy. They're the cleanup crew, if you will. So after you get your substrate, then you're going to want to start collecting different kinds of plants. And if you watch the videos, you're going to see what kind of plants actually work really well. And you can also get some hardscape. So in here, we've got some, there's a little rock in here, there's some bark off to the side, you can have sticks, there's lots of other little things in here, there's another piece. So they've put some sticks and things in there, so it makes it kind of more natural, right? And it also is things that plants and stuff can grow on and spread out, so that's a good thing. I've got another example of a jar here. By the way, you're going to have to find a jar, aren't you? You want a jar, honestly the best kind of jars have a clear lid, if you can find one with a clear lid. They also need to be able to be sealed. So this is not a good jar because the seal is missing on this, okay? And we want it to be airtight and watertight so that we're actually creating a little island, an isolated, almost like an Earth, right? It's its own isolated ecosystem island spaceship that's sealed off from the rest of the universe, and that's what we want. So again, we have a rock layer, you can see that, and then there is fabric, and then above the fabric we have the substrate, which would be all of our soil mix that we have, and then above that she's got some sticks, there's some rocks in here. This is one from last year, so it's still growing. I don't know if you can It's still growing. It hasn't been maintained, or we haven't paid much attention to it in a while, and It's got some mold in here, which tells me it does not have any isopods in it or very many springtails. If we have isopods and springtails, they'll actually take care of that mold for us, and you'll never have to worry about it. It'll take care of it on its own. Last piece of advice I would give you is the bigger the better. Aiden brought this in already today. This it has a not a transparent lid, but it is waterproof, which is great, and it's huge, which is going to be great. The bigger the better. And Aiden, what I'll probably recommend you do when you use this is lay it on its side like this, so then you can build your terrarium across here, right? And then all of this becomes grow area. So you'll have to put your rock layer on the very bottom with your water, and then above that some substrate, so on and so forth. So yeah, kind of a good deal there. We might even maybe lay it on its side, kind of like that. We can get some kind of a stand for it so that it has a different reservoir. But that's some things about your terrarium. Virtual learners, your terrarium needs to be built by you outside of class, and then I will be asking you on Sunday night at midnight, hopefully you have it done by then, I'm going to be asking for some video of you building it or some pictures of you building it, and you're going to be presenting your terrarium to me, and I want to see what kinds of things are in there, so you're going to need some good pictures, okay, so that I can actually see what plants you have in there. I want to look and see some isopods, maybe some springtails living in there, and I want to see that your rock layer is correct, you have the right amount of water, not too much water. So I'll be looking at it very closely and then giving you advice on how to adjust it so that it's going to be the healthiest that it can be. And then we want to keep this in a windowsill somewhere or someplace under a grow light if you have one of those, but windowsill is fine. And we're going to, because it's going to need some light, okay, every day it needs light. And we're going to refer back to our terrariums several times throughout the year, so you want to make sure you do a good job on yours so that you have something to refer back to when I start talking about ecosystems or when I start talking about carrying capacity or food chains or the water cycle or the carbon cycle, things like that. They're going to be happening all year. Population, we'll be talking about that. And we'll use our terrariums to do that. So do a really good job on your terrarium. Remember, bigger the better. Clear lids like this. Okay, a clear lid is better than a opaque or lid that won't let light through. But either one will work. We want it to be airtight, watertight. Okay? All right, that's all I have for now. If you have any questions, email me, let me know. I am expecting everyone to have their terrarium built by this, well, if you're in class, it'll be built by Friday because we'll be going to Trojan Woods and doing it ourselves. If you are a virtual learner, it needs to be built by Sunday night, midnight, where I start getting your reports, okay? I need some pictures, I need to know what's been going on, and I'll put a form up for you so that it kind of guides you as you're making your report to me, okay? All right, that's all I have for now. Have a good day.